Hi guys, in this video I'll show you how to create an animation with a simple animation with Blender. So I will show you the end result and this is what we are trying to do. I'm gonna have a text animated going down. Okay, so how do we do that? First of all, this is the video I would like to work with. So I want to add a text here at this point. So I'm going to add text, make sure that it is all the way up. And then I'm going to stretch it to a certain duration for as long as I want it to show. Then I'm going to hit strip over here and write whatever text, like for example, welcome or hi there, hello there. Something like that. And now, as you can see, I'm gonna just move this a little bit inwards. I'm gonna try to find the text. Here it is. So I found it. It's so small though, so this is a very nice size. I want to put it all the way up, so I'm going to manipulate the location X and Y. This is a very good location. So basically, starting point is here. Let me explain a little bit about animation with Blender. Animation with the Blender works as follows. Let me just get maybe a PowerPoint easily. I want to show you scientifically how this works. It's basically non-continuous data points in the space. So, for example, over here, let me just go to slides and then draw something. So if you have an x-axis, all right, and you have a y-axis, usually this is x variable, and this is usually f of x. For example, you have a point where you are located, just exactly how we've done right now. We put the location at a certain frame to be the top, and then I want it to be a bit lower, and then a bit lower, and then shifted. Maybe actually this is not a very good, let me just exactly, like let's say that you want it lower and shifting to the right, lower shifting to the right, lower shifting to the right, and then eventually shifting to the right and disappearing. So let's say that this is the situation. So these may be the points of the location of the frames and the number of the frames. Now what happens is you could interpolate these points by either connecting them with linear lines or by connecting them with a spine, a very smoother, softer line. So basically, if I am going to set up the location of the y or the value of the y-axis at a certain frame, so this is the x here is going to be the frame or the frame number. So for this frame, if I'm setting up the f of x here is the location of y, so the position of y at a certain point, and here at a certain point for this frame, and here the y is at a certain point, and here the y is at a certain point. So these points could be connected smoothly. So there will be a smoother transition, a smoother movement rather than the jumps. If you want to reach from a 1 to 2, to point 2 to 3, to point 3 to 4, it's going to be jumps, jumping. But actually, if they are connected with a smoother lines, they will be smoother. And this this is what we need, right? A smoother movement. So this is exactly what I am going to do right now. And the way to do it is through adding a keyframe. We call it a keyframe. Now, for us to maybe, I'm gonna put here what we call it a dope sheet, and over here I'm gonna add the sequencer. So I'm gonna just replace the order. So I would like to show you, and I'm doing I did the order in such a way so that I can keep this, but I'm not sure if I can keep it anymore. Video, I cannot keep it. So there was no need, in fact, to change the order. Let me just not do that. So let me just put this as back again as the dope sheet, and over here let me keep it as the sequencer. Where is it? Video sequencer. Okay. The dope sheet will show us when and where the keyframes are added. So right now, this is the location of the text, right? So I want the text to start at the very top. So I'm gonna change it all the way to the top right there. Okay, all right. Then if I want to add a keyframe, basically I'm gonna set up the value, that point that I showed you on the XY plane. I'm gonna set up the value here, and then hover over, mouse over, without clicking or anything. I'm gonna click the I button on the keyboard, and now I created here with the yellow dot a keyframe. Now next, because I planned my animation, next I would like to have it moving a little bit down. So I'm gonna lower the Y position here, and then hover over, mouse over, and I. So now I created 2 keyframes. Then move it for a certain frame. This is, which frame is that? Should give me the frame number somewhere here, and that would be lowered to here. And then don't forget to mouse over and hit Y. So the color now changes to yellow, and these dots changes to diamond. Last one, a little lower. Maybe this time I would like to change it and move it to the horizontally. So you can do that. So here's the location. I'm going to change it here, and then mouse over, I button, and now it is yellow again. If you want to check, look how smooth this is. Smoothly going down, and going over here. In fact, I didn't need so many transitions here for going down. So I don't really need this transition, this one. So you can delete this keyframe, and you will still go down smoothly and go to the left, because it is just the same direction. You don't need so many keyframes if they are just going down in the same direction. Do you see that? I deleted that keyframe, and it's still working fine. Yeah? So this is a nice animation. You could animate it, for example, appearing on the very top and moving around, but I don't see the necessity of the animation as much as the substance of the text. So please do not focus too much on the animation, but rather the substance of the text, all right? So here we go. Perfect. Can we animate different things? I mean, can we make an animation in terms of opacity, for example, or? Yes, of course. You can change the opacity, and for a certain, for example, over here. Now it is over here. I want to change the opacity, start changing the opacity. So And let's, for example, change it. You see it's fading. So I fade it a little bit, and then I mouse over and hit I. Mouse over. And hit I. So now, as you can see, there are 2 points here. So let's play it again. Down, left. Aha, I made a mistake. Do you see here? I should start a keyframe here. I should put the opacity as 1 and start a keyframe. Okay? So now when it's playing, the opacity, it starts fading out. So at this point, I might not want it to fade out that much. So I might set up here the opacity to be 0.8, for example, or 0.9 rather. So it's not very transparent, and hit I. You see, it's not that difficult right now. Here, here. And now it's starting to fade. This is exactly what I wanted. Right, guys? So I hope that now you can see having the, this is my recommendation to you. Have the dope sheet opened so that you can see what is it that you're adding. And you can experiment with this. Do you see that? Now it's fading out until it disappears. You can just put it here to fade out even more. So you can set it out to be 0.2, for example. And then don't forget to hover over and put I. So now it is even a smoother fading out. So you can add more than one effect at a time for a single instance. See? Good. I hope this is helpful. I tried my best to explain it to you in a very simple way. And good luck with your video production.